Imagine a creature so vast that it weighs over 6 million kilograms, sprawling across an area equivalent to 60 football fields. This creature, which lives silently in Utah, United States, is known as Pando. At first glance, Pando appears to be an ordinary aspen forest, with slender white trunks reaching toward the sky and leaves that tremble like wind chimes. But the secret it holds is what makes it special. Pando is not just a forest, it is a single living organism. Beneath the ground lies an intricate network of interconnected roots, linking each of the 47,000 trees like limbs of a giant body. Genetically identical, these trees function as offshoots of the same ancient organism. This interconnection makes Pando the largest and heaviest organism on the planet. But its greatness does not stop there. Pando also carries a story spanning millennia, acting as a living witness to ages past. Since science unveiled the true nature of Pando, fascination with this natural wonder has only grown. How could something so ancient and vast have survived for so long? And how has it remained alive in a constantly changing world? These are questions that drive researchers and conservationists to try to unravel the mysteries of the Utah giant. But Pando is not just a scientific relic. It is also a symbol of the interconnectedness of all life. As one explores the tranquil forest environment, with leaves trembling in unison and roots embracing beneath the earth, the sense of nature's unity becomes almost tangible. Pando is not just alive. It pulses, breathes, and holds secrets that challenge our understanding of the natural world. It is here, in the midst of this extraordinary forest, that our journey begins. To understand how Pando formed and what allows it to withstand the test of time, we must travel back to the beginning of its long and extraordinary existence. To understand Pando's deep roots, we must go back thousands of years to a time when the Earth was covered in ice. During the last glacial period, entire landscapes were dominated by vast glaciers, and cutting winds sculpted the land relentlessly. It was in this harsh environment that Pando began its journey. Unlike other trees that rely on seeds to reproduce, Pando adopted a different strategy: asexual reproduction. A single aspen shoot emerged from the soil and, instead of producing seeds, spread its roots, giving rise to new trunks that sprouted as extensions of itself. Over time, Pando grew horizontally, forming the immense colony we know today. This method of reproduction was its key to survival, allowing the organism to spread even in challenging environments, adapting to the planet's gradual changes. Pando not only survived, it thrived. As the Earth's climate transformed and the glaciers slowly retreated, Pando remained steadfast, rooted in its own resilience. One reason for its longevity lies in its unique biology. It is triploid, meaning it has 3 sets of chromosomes instead of 2. This genetic peculiarity prevents it from reproducing sexually with other aspens, forcing it to perpetuate its genes through root sprouting. Although this might seem like a limitation, it was, in fact, an evolutionary advantage. Through this slow and continuous process of expansion, Pando became a massive being that transcended geological eras. As the world changed around it, Pando, with its firmly anchored roots, became a living witness to the past. But how did it withstand catastrophic events and remain standing to this day? To understand its resilience, we need to explore what it has witnessed over the millennia. Over millennia, Pando has witnessed dramatic changes that shaped the world as we know it today. Imagine a time when North America was inhabited by giant creatures like woolly mammoths and saber-toothed tigers, roaming freely across prairies and forests. Pando was already there, with its roots growing slowly, while megafauna walked over its soil and the Earth's cycles drew new landscapes. As the climate changed and the glaciers that once covered vast regions began to retreat, new species of plants and animals appeared, replacing the old inhabitants of the area. Pando, resilient as ever, adapted to these transitions, enduring conditions that would have destroyed any lesser organism. Storms, wildfires, and periods of drought came and went, but Pando remained, a silent and relentless guardian of time. As the ages passed, Pando also witnessed the arrival of the first humans in North America. Indigenous peoples lived in harmony with the land, hunting, fishing, and venerating the nature around them. They surely passed by Pando, feeling its ancient presence, without realizing that the Aspen forest was, in fact, a single living entity. For centuries, Pando continued to thrive, silently observing the advance of human civilization. But even an organism as enduring as Pando is not immune to the pressures of the modern world. Today, Pando faces threats it has never experienced in its long history. And while it has survived mass extinctions and environmental transformations, the battle it now fights is different. To understand the adversities Pando faces today, we must examine the forces that put its survival at risk. Though Pando has withstood glaciations and mass extinctions, the 21st century has brought challenges that threaten its survival like never before. One of the main threats comes from excessive grazing by deer and elk. These animals feed on Pando's young shoots, preventing new trunks from growing to replace the old ones that die. The cycle of regeneration, which has kept Pando healthy for thousands of years, is now in jeopardy, disrupted by the constant presence of herbivores seeking food. Moreover, climate change poses a significant risk. Global warming alters temperature and precipitation patterns, affecting the delicate ecological balance that Pando needs to thrive. Prolonged droughts and extreme temperatures weaken the trees, making them more susceptible to pests and diseases. Even with its interconnected roots, Pando's resilience is being tested in ways it has never faced before. Human activity also plays a crucial role. Urban expansion and land use around Pando alter the natural habitat, and modern environmental pressures exacerbate the wear on this natural wonder. To complicate matters further, public understanding of Pando's importance is limited, making conservation efforts difficult. However, all is not lost. Scientists and conservationists are working diligently to protect Pando. They implement strategies, such as fencing off sections of the forest to keep deer at bay, while researching ways to mitigate the effects of climate change. Yet, Pando's fate ultimately depends on our ability to act and protect this extraordinary organism. But the true complexity of Pando is not limited to the threats it faces. There are still more mysteries to uncover, as we shall see. Despite its interconnected and genetically identical nature, Pando carries a fascinating enigma: the genetic mutations that have emerged across its vast expanse. Recently, scientists conducted a detailed DNA analysis of different parts of the organism and discovered something surprising. Although all the trees share the same genetic base, small variations have accumulated in different regions, as if each part of Pando experienced the passage of time uniquely. More than 4,000 genetic variants have been identified within Pando, reflecting mutations that occurred over millennia. The expectation was that trees closer to each other would be more genetically similar, but reality proved otherwise. The mutations do not follow a logical distribution pattern, and distant trunks are sometimes more genetically alike than nearby ones. This phenomenon challenges scientists' assumptions and raises new questions about the evolution of clonal organisms. You would expect trees that are spatially closer to be more genetically related, explained Rosen Pinot, a population geneticist at the University of Chicago. But the spatial signal is weaker than we imagined. What does this mean for our understanding of Pando's biology? The answer remains uncertain. But the mystery only deepens the fascination with this incredible natural wonder. The genetic mutations are not just scientific details. They are like marks of time, clues to what Pando has experienced over its long existence. Now, it is time to reflect on Pando's deeper meaning and what it represents for the world. Pando is not just an impressive organism. It is a powerful symbol of the interconnectedness of life on Earth. In a world where everything seems separate, Pando reminds us that nature functions as a unified whole. Its connected roots represent the mutual dependence of all living beings and the resilience that comes from this union. Ecologically, Pando is a vital support for countless species. It provides shelter, food, and protection for various animals, insects, and plants, creating an ecosystem that thrives thanks to its millennial stability. But Pando's significance goes beyond its role in the local environment. It is a living example of the need for balance and harmony with nature, a reminder that the survival of one depends on the well-being of all. Philosophically, Pando challenges us to reconsider our relationship with the planet. It is a living lesson in humility, showing how even something so vast and enduring can be vulnerable to external forces. In a constantly changing world, Pando's existence inspires us to protect what is precious and to act responsibly to ensure that our connection with nature is not lost. From these reflections arises the question, what does the future hold for this silent giant? Pando's future is uncertain, but there is hope. Scientists and conservationists continue to work tirelessly to protect this extraordinary organism. Fences have been erected around parts of the forest to prevent deer grazing and allow new shoots to grow. Research is being conducted to better understand the impacts of climate change and find solutions to help Pando adapt to a transforming environment. However, these efforts will only succeed if public awareness increases. Pando cannot fight alone. It needs our help. The survival of this giant depends on our ability to balance human development with nature conservation. Pando is a reminder that even the most resilient beings can be pushed to the brink of extinction by human intervention. Looking to the future, the question remains, how do we choose to act? Pando stands there, still pulsing, still surviving. It challenges us to do better, to be guardians of our planet, and to protect the natural wonders that have existed for millennia. With this awareness, each of us can make a difference. Thus, Pando's story continues, a living testament to the beauty, complexity, and fragility of life on Earth.